People who have been pushing for new gun laws to curb gun violence just suffered a big blow, and those people include those over at the White House, including the president, who really pushed for new laws. The bipartisan compromise to expand background checks on guns just failed to break a Republican filibuster. The vote was 54 to 46, so technically 6 votes short of the 60 needed to break that filibuster. It is a huge loss and a huge disappointment to the Democratic senator from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, the Republican senator from Pennsylvania, Pat Toomey, both of whom have had A ratings from the NRA and said that they wanted to go ahead and do this in order to change the way things are post Newtown, but they just could not convince enough senators, particularly Republicans, to go along with expanding background checks. It would have just been to gun shows and internet sales, but too many senators said that they did not think that that was the right way to go. This is probably, Jake, the closest that they thought that they could come to changing gun laws. There will be other amendments that we're going to see, but in terms of the real sort of prize for those looking to expand gun restrictions, this was it, and it didn't happen.
And Dan, I'm wondering how much of this was because of principled opposition to the Manchin-Toomey amendment, and how much was it an issue of risk-reward? In other words, there really was very little potential reward because it probably was never going to pass the House of Representatives, even if it was going to be voted upon in the House. So it, for some senators, might not have even been worth the risk of voting for it, since it would not have become law.
That's a great question. I think it's hard to know at the end of the day how many senators, really decided not to vote for it for that reason, because what tends to happen is as you get close to the magic number of 60, then all of a sudden you can potentially get a whole bunch of other senators because the senators who are voting for it realize that, I might as well get on the side of a winning issue here. To your point, that's exactly what did not happen here. You had Gabby Giffords, Mark Kelly, of course, who have been really pushing for new gun laws. They're here actually as we speak. You had Newtown families going around, and they just could not convince enough of these senators to go along with it. And you talk to some of them, and they argue it's because they were too worried about, as you put it, the risk, particularly from backlash from the NRA.